Ho, ho, and welcome to the special Christmas edition of the GSHSW.com podcast. I bring tidings of whistles and refs, mat taping, fun, everything we could possibly do as we head into the Christmas season. A down week this week as far as wrestling goes, but I'm still going to bring the fun. And now we know Santa's been very corporatized, so we got to go to our corporate sponsors. And these are champion athletes. Dan Warnikoff. We've talked about it in the past. We've seen our podcast with him. Your body's like a car. You want to put the good fuel in it. Dan will help you do that. He'll craft a meal plan. And it's not anything you're getting like a little box with everything and delivered, and you have to sit there and suffer. It tastes like cardboard. This is stuff your whole family can enjoy, and help you lose weight. Dan Warnikoff, champion athletes, give him a call. Apex Wrestling School. 3 in New Jersey, 1 in New York. Damian Logan and Dane Tabano, college roommates at Michigan, started it. Fastest growing wrestling school in the area. Apex Wrestling. The Harrington Companies. You own a piece of property? What do you want to do with it? If it's a dump, call the recycling and demolition of Harrington. You want to build something nice on it? Call the construction arm. You want to make it even look really nice? Call Hoffman Landscaping. All 3 are part of the Harrington Companies. Harrington Companies are big supporters of what we do here. Performance Trophy and Medals, conveniently located at 236 South Salem Street in Randolph, New Jersey, right off Route 10, honoring achievements 1 award at a time. We talked about what we were going to be doing with them, and if you've been watching our socials, our hammer of the match is from Performance Trophies. We're going to have a really cool award for everybody when we vote on the different stuff. And finally, Forum Coffee, redefining the New Jersey coffee experience. A location in East Hanover, a location in Livingston, and coming soon to West Orange, Cedar Grove, and Chatham. Forum Coffee, the official sponsors of GardenStateHSWrestling.com and our official coffee brands. Now, let's do a little recap of last week. We had some mistletoe and some great dreams for some teams. Other teams got lumps of coal in their schedule stockings. A team that thought they might have some coal and rebounded really well this week. I didn't get a chance to see him, but it was West Morris. They lose to Hanover Park last Saturday, but then they rebounded with some really good wins, including over Jefferson and Pope John, which is big for that program, especially Pope John. I know Carson Walsh didn't wrestle, but that's still a big win, and actually puts them in position for a better shot in the American Conference of the NJAC, so that'll be interesting to see. And they had some really good representation at the Morris Knowles tournament. Now, heading to the coverage from last week, we were out all over. I told you we were doing a bunch of matches. We did. First was up at North Warren. We saw Hackettstown win 66-12. Nice local rivalry match there. North Warren team's building. Hackettstown just had all the answers that night. It was all Hackettstown night, but they were doing real well, and I expect big things from Hackettstown, going forward, and we'll see how they perform against when they get against some of the bigger teams. But North Warren's also a squad on the rise, and I think the rebuilding of the program starts here, and I give them a couple years, and they're right there fighting with people. And then you head to the next night. We had an action-packed night. John Kovac and I were on the call. We were at Mount Olive Youth, Mount Olive Girls, and Mount Olive Boys all won and beat Warren Hills. Warren Hills Girls actually was first. They jumped out to a lead, but then Mount Olive clawed and crawled back into it and wound up pulling away at the end, and they won 37-28. And then just kind of how I thought, I know Warren Hills was coming off a win against a depleted Hunterdon Central team the night before, but Mount Olive comes in and just lays a whooping. I mean, they had them come in. They ran out to an early lead. There wasn't a sense of urgency from some of the guys up top I saw, but Mount Olive walked away with a 53-13 win there. And I know Mount Olive really was happy with that performance. Highlight of the match, we'll talk about him in a little bit. It kind of opened my eyes for some consideration for rest of the week, was Anthony Piemonte beating Charlie Piccioni in that match. So that was kind of an eye-opener. I know Piemonte is good, but this is that next level good. So I think he's ranked 4th in the state by some other publications. So that's very good for that team. And, I would say Mount Olive's the favorite or one of the favorites to win their section. But if you know, North 1 Group 4 is a brutal section with Ridge and Peaburg, a team they lost to just the other day by a few points in that same section. So it's going to be tough for them to make it down the groups again. Then on the 20th, we headed over to PCTI, an early match between these guys this year. PCTI won 41-23, pretty much wrapping up that division in the Big North. There's only 5 teams in it, and the other 2 of the 3 teams can't field the full squad, and the third team isn't as good as the teams, just to be honest with you. So that kind of wrapped up that division early, which is, depending on how you look at it, good or bad. It just depends with how you kind of see it. You're kind of now you can focus on it. I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 teams, they've met the last 2 years in the group finals or the section finals, excuse me, of Group 5, and I would not be shocked if these 2 teams were there again. Then on Saturday, we had the Laker Holiday Tournament. We were there. We had first and third place matches. A couple technical difficulties early on. I don't know how cameras work, and it was working fine, and then it stopped. So we got it running. We enjoyed the call over there. Top 3 teams, Wayne Valley was first, Mendham second, and Hanover Park third. Hanover Park didn't have a few of their wrestlers like Laval and some of the other ones who were down at Beast of the East, but still finished third. And then another team we didn't get a chance to cover, but had a really good weekend, was Del Barton. They were out at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame duels in Oklahoma. They were undefeated in Pool A, and then lost to a really, really good Bishop McCourt team from PA, 37-28. Now, they were without Gabe Logan and Cameron Sons. That might be a difference right there if they're in that, but you wrestle with who you got, and Bishop McCourt walked away the winners. Then Sunday, we made the trip to Bloomfield. Our first time filming in Bloomfield. We were at the Bloomfield Girls Holiday Tournament. Great day of action there. We were all set up. Great wrestling action. There were, obviously the girls didn't have full teams, so some didn't, but there was at least 46 different schools represented, and that's huge for girls wrestling. Newton wound up winning it, and then Bloomfield and Vernon tied for second and third. And, shout out to some of their guys, but like, Ava Barry won for Newton. That helped them go. Stella Ramos, a couple of the finalists. And then for Vernon, Caitlin Hart winning at heavyweight with a pin pinned her way through the tournament, 2 second period pins, and then finally a third period pin in the finals. But that was a great job with the girls there, and great job by Bloomfield with that tournament. And then one thing that kind of stuck out for me as I was calling it, and I have a picture, and I'm going to post it real quick. My favorite singlet of the weekend. It's Shaylee Young from Gateway. If you look at it real close, it was a Grinch singlet. And I loved it. I saw that, and I was like, wow, and I mentioned it on the live stream, because she wound up winning her weight at 185. And that was just a really cool singlet and way to kind of, let everything be fun and just enjoyable, especially before Christmas. So really cool singlet. And, I had to go take a picture. I thought that was cool. So now we're going to head to the rankings. Not too much change. One of my divisions, I did. And for everybody asking, we are putting up a Essex. It's going to be up this week before the next podcast. We'll have it up and list it. But as far as Morris goes, no real change. As you can see with there, I still have Butler, Roxbury, Morris Knowles at 8, Jefferson at 7, Part Hills at 6, Montville at 5, West Morris at 4, Hanover Park at 3, and then Mount Olive at 2 and Del Barton at 1. Those are, the ones I think right there are going to be very good. A little bit of switching in the HWS, nothing too crazy. I got Hackettstown in at number 10, Hunterdon Central at 9, Warren Hills at 8. Sparta's in that weird situation there to have a couple guys injured. I got them at 7. They may drop a little bit just due to who they're going to be wrestling, but I think they'll get everybody healthy by the end and be able to move on. I got Kittatinny at 6, High Point at 5, Pope John was at 3. It moves down to 4. I have North Hunterdon jumping them right now. I think that'll change, but just as of right now, I think North Hunterdon is the 3rd, Delaware Valley 2, and then Phillipsburg number 1. And this is the one that really changed. So, like with Passaic, number 10 was Manchester, 9 DePaul, 8 West Milford. I got Wayne Hills at 7, Lakeland at 6, Pompton Lakes at 5, Wayne Valley at 4. Now, I have switched some people up here because of how the results went. We just talked about the PCTI and Clifton match. PCTI also beat Passaic Valley this past Saturday. And as a result, they're number 1, PV's 2, and Clifton's 3 as of now. PCTI really gave it to Passaic Valley. I was shocked that score wasn't a little closer. And, I know they're going to be meeting up in the county, so we'll see if that changes anything. But right now, that's my area, top 10 with how we do that for Passaic, Hunterdon, Warren, Sussex, and Morris. Now, that transitions me into my Wrestler of the Week. And we're going to do something a little different this year. As a gift, another gift from Brower Claus, we usually do Wrestler of the Week or Co-Wrestler of the Week. We're not doing that this year. From now on, because we are treating it as we would for anybody, we're going to be full coverage of the women, full coverage of the men. So there will be a boys Wrestler of the Week and a girls Wrestler of the Week going forward. And I can't think of anyone's better than who we picked, but there's some under consideration. As I said, you got to look at Piemonte, who for his performance this week on the boys side, a couple others. Then you got to look at a Caroline Beagle. What she did, she loses last week, her first loss of the year, comes back, wins the Beast of the East. Kind of got to consider her. You got to consider Barry for what you did, Caitlin Hart along those lines. But my boy and girl wrestlers of the week. First for the boys, Ethan Dalling from Kittatinny gets his 100th win with a 43-second pin over Anthony Pham of West Milford on December 20th. That's a huge accomplishment. Ethan's father and his brother went through the program. Just another milestone for him. And he almost was right there with somebody who medaled in the state last year, and Menbelig from St. Benedict's Prep. So Ethan Dalling is my boys Wrestler of the Week. For my girls, it's no shock. It's somebody who I think everybody kind of understands is really good, but just an impressive showing at the Beast. It's Ella Poalillo from High Point. Anytime you win and make it look as easy as she did the Beast of the East, that's an impressive accomplishment. She won states last year, and she honestly, and I said this about other people, but I really believe this about her, she has a real chance to win 4. And a real great job of being one of those ambassadors for the next generation of girls wrestling. Ella Poalillo is my girl wrestler of the week. Now, this coverage this week, there's going to be a little break because of obviously Christmas. I got to go out and hand out the presents, and I got to get those grubby elves to make some more toys. On Monday, on the 23rd, we're going to have a double header. First, we're going to have Wayne Hills at Jefferson at 11 a.m. Then at 4 p.m., we're going to have High Point at Sparta. So 2 matches for the price of 1. Settle in with a cup of cocoa, wrap some presents, and join us for that day. And then we give you the Christmas break, and we will be at the Lynn Cron Memorial on December 27th. We'll be doing first and third on the stream with commentary. We'll be up there. It's going to give me a nice little chance to kind of see some really good teams in the area, but Brower Claus will be up there for that. And if you want to help support Brower Claus and make sure he has a happy holiday, there's limited opportunities for live streaming left. If you want to get your team covered and be blessed with pixie dust and all the Yuletide greetings Brower Claus can give you, reach out to us. Fill out the form on the site or send an email to admin@GardenStateHSWrestling.com. We'll see if we can fit you in the schedule. We'd love to get out there, cover your team, make you guys the star of the show. And follow us on all of our socials. Facebook, GardenStateHSWrestling.com. X, GardenStateHSW. On Instagram, at GardenStateHSWrestling. On YouTube, like, subscribe, and get notified with the notifications button. You'll get notified when I have a podcast like I'm doing right now, when we do a live stream, when we put up any type of footage, as well as everything else we do. So we also have limited sponsorship opportunities available left as well. Click on the Your Ad here on any of the team pages, or send me an email at admin@gardenstatehswrestling.com. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. We basically will send you the list, and you tell us what you'd like to do. We are very inexpensive, but the quality we give is priceless. So reach out to us. Let us make your business a star of the show. GardenStateHSWrestling.com is your premier wrestling provider for boys and girls wrestling. We show the most matches, and I prove that every week. Now, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I'll give you a Happy New Year next year because I'm coming back next week. But I want to wish everybody a safe and Merry Christmas. Everybody enjoy this time with their families. And remember, it's just the start. Now the holiday tournament's over. We're going to start kicking it into full gear. So Brower Claus has got to get back to his shop and make all the toys for all the little girls and boys who want to be future state champions. So for Jared, the podcasting legend, I am Brower Claus, a.k.a. Donald J. Brower. We'll see you next week.